All right, boys. We set the edge at the end. We set the platform at the edge, which is good. But we need to get this ball out quicker. There's got to be better comms from the edges. We had space for days. For some reason, we make a contact in the midfield, and now we're sitting with this defensive problem. So let's look at the defensive side of the ball real quick. We have the blind guy over here. Obviously not, defending anyone, which is not effective for us. And then we have the cluster around the rock area. So one pass from the 9 to the pivot or the 10 or whatever can now take out 5 players, including the guy in the blind. And now we're sitting with 2 players defending the rest of the field and the team, right? So we got to look up and see what's in front of us. Sweeper, if we have any issues, you need to pull people over or plug in until we get some manpower to help you out with the defense. But this is not an effective defensive line. So let's flip over to the attack real quick. The main aim is trying to get the ball to the edges. We bounce back. Problem with this is the work rate from our guys that were just in the rock is not effective. So they are now in a position where the ball runner is isolated and he doesn't have any options but to go into contact, and that leads us to playing one-dimensional rugby. The aim is trying to get the ball to the trenches. The trenches is from the sideline to the 5 meter, a little bit, let's say the 7 meter from the sideline. That's the edges, and that's where we want to stretch the field. This has been a common theme where we just kind of, bounce back and then the work rate isn't there and we're isolated in the midfield. It's just something to kind of think about. And boys, let's have a look at our defensive alignment. I'll pause it right there. We still need better vision on the blind side. We have guys walking. There's literally 1, 2, 3, 4 players. One pass from the base of the rock to the 9 or to the pivot takes out 4 players, and we have a lot of boys on an island at the edge there. So better comms on the defense, better spacement, better alignment. Defensively, we really need to get our shit together. The ball gets spread. After this, doing a decent effort on getting it to the edges. Run with intent, please, if you're a winger. But have a look at the inside hunt. The space between our 2 defenders is obviously not ideal. We need to hustle high, but we also want to make sure that the space is effective. Remember, we talked about the comms. It's okay to tell him that he's not there so that player can adjust accordingly. So let's just make sure, like on defense, that we have our eyes up. We look at where the source of possession is. We look at who the possible receiver is, and then we trigger up when the ball's in flight so we can meet them. So we have a lot to work on defense, but we'll get that sorted out. A somewhat decent platform is set on the edge. We've got to run with intent, remember, wingers. But have a look at the speed of 3 of the guy in the white. I'm not sure who that is. That's not effective, boys. We can't afford to just hustle there too late, because by that time the ball is turned over, especially in that zone where there's supposed to be an urgent work rate. Regardless, we get the ball out, and now we're going to flip to the defensive side of things and just have a look at our connection again. As you can see right there, we're going to have our inside hunts is obviously not effective. There's no comms. The gap's too big. I mean, one cutback and we're exposed. So let's work on the jockey if you're the sweeper to kind of just try and take that last man. If not, the jockey or the sweeper, the sweeper will have to fill that gap. But let's shift over and just kind of scan and see what's in front of us and just align defensively and make that an according to what they give us. So yeah, definitely got a lot of work to do on the defensive side, but we will get there. Have a look there. We just want to make sure that if we box, we have one player about 5 meters behind, 3 to 4 meters behind the rock, so you can cover both edges, and then we have the extra player just switch out into the inside shoulder of the first receiver, so we can set that trap by bracketing him. If we keep playing this clip on, we'll see some good vision there on the kick. We just got to be on the comms. We've got to be ready on the edge there, Preston, to make sure that you get that. But as a good vision on the ball, make good contact. Speed of 3 was okay. I would much rather have my pivot come a little closer, because those little lob passes won't help us too much. But have a look again, same issue that we had last time. Some reason we bounce back in, but the work rate from the back 3, if you want to call it, is not effective. So the bounce is not really on, and now we're going to be playing one-dimensional midfield rugby again. So we're bouncing back, and yeah, we're back to where we were. Got some decent movement on the ball, trying to get it to the edge. Just have a look at this of what's going to happen in the next few minutes or next few seconds. So right there, some reason again we have this theme that we want to cut back infield. So we left about 15 meters on the edge of the field on the table, right? We want to set the width When we say set the trenches, we want to set the trenches anywhere from the sideline to about 7 meters from the sideline. Now we know that we have maximum width, and it also gives their box defender some guesswork to do, whether we're going to hit blind again or go wide. But 7 to 8 meters, I'd say that's the golden zone for us to set a ruck. Fortunately, we cut back in again, and it actually gets better. So we cut back in. So keep in mind the ruck would have been formed at 7 meters. Now it is literally formed just inside the post. So we look at all the wasted space on the left here that we could have utilized. We have the breakdown right there. Now all of a sudden we need to operate as an effective team in essence half of a field. This makes it very, very easy for defenders to defend, and obviously not giving us a lot of space for creativity. So just something to kind of keep an eye on.